Have you been protesting for Palestine for long?
This is my second protest. I've been to a protest last year, but this is my first protest this year. I'm Palestinian, so I watch the news every day and I cry every day. And I'm sorry.
No, it's okay.
My grandma and grandpa, they're in Palestine right now, and I worry about them every single day, you know? It's hard. So I'm here because every person and every message makes a difference. I feel like anybody just coming out here, it's gonna make a difference. I feel great.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm making a difference.
Why you feel connected to the issue?
Okay, multiple reasons. One, I'm a Palestinian. Two, this is my field of research. I've been studying this for 20 years in New York, Palestinians in New York. And then definitely for my daughter, so that she can feel their sense of community, a sense of belonging beyond what she sees on the news. And so basically, do I feel it's going to change policy? Not necessarily, but does it feel like the world is projecting their care for Palestinians? Yes. And so that's where I come from.
And when did your family flee?
48,
In 1948. Where did they go?
Lebanon.
Okay, Lebanon, and then you eventually came to New York.
Yeah, much later. I came for
Okay.
grad school.
And it's just, do you
Yeah.
think you'll continue to participate in protests?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Oh yeah. We've been to quite a few. We went to DC last weekend.
Great.
The weekend before we were in Bay Ridge. And so whenever there is one and I can get out of work and take the kids, we're gone.
And how do your daughter and kids feel about being here?
Ask her.
How do you like being at the protest? What do you think about it?
It's cool.
Yeah? Would you rather be at the protest than being just at home?
Yes.
Yeah? You like it?
It's fun.
It's fun?
Yeah.
Why is it fun?
Because I'm supporting my home.
You're supporting your home.
I'm a taxpayer here, and my president has refused to endorse ceasefire. It's not that, it's just crazy. This is when President Biden stands in the way of ceasefire, he's just slaughtering people, and this is for me a war crime. The imperialist powers have done everywhere in the world. It is the same trick. They divide and conquer. So they created a Jewish state there because they didn't want the Jews coming back to Europe. They didn't open the concentration camp and say, come back home. They say, okay, go to Palestine. So Israel is actually a crime against the Jews. But it's not by the Jews. It's not a crime against the Jews by the Jews. It is a crime against the Jews by people who took their property and didn't want to give it back. And I think that the Balfour Declaration, the idea of creating a beachhead in the Middle East, it's not only in Israel. They did it in Africa, everywhere where they were, and they did it in Lebanon by cutting Lebanon away from Syria. We need to live together.
And so what
that's
would
why
your
I'm here.
ideal
So I
solution
don't care. Well, I don't know. I don't think that any solution will come from ideals. I think it will come from people sitting together and talking. I don't know what it will be. But we have to. The first thing is to stop the carnage, and then we have to live together. And we will not stop the carnage just unless people sit together. I don't know what it will be. It definitely has to be a democratic state for all the people who live there. Well, I feel extremely disappointed that this is not a joint Jewish voice for peace and people who are obviously for Palestine. I don't see why it's not done together. It's very disappointing to me that it's not like that. It has to start somewhere. So that's very painful, actually.
Because honestly, a lot of it is hidden. If you think about it, what's going on in Palestine. A lot of people think it's been going on for hundreds of years, that it's a religious war. A lot of people believe that it's a war that they're the same people. It's not the same people. And it's not that I have anything against like Jewish people, but let's face it, Israel is made up of, most of them are European Jews, you know, from Russia, from Poland, you know. You take it back a lot. It didn't just start. Those people were there on that land. They're the Palestinians are the indigenous people. One day, and it would have been Africa, because the Balfour Agreement, the British were going to give the Zionists a certain portion of Africa instead. But then they decided, okay, let's give them Palestine.
So what would you say to people who say, well, the Jews needed a place to go after the whole...
The Palestinians never said that the Jews could not go there. And let me tell you, because they said, you know what, they were fine there. But it didn't turn into like, you know what, we live here, and they're used to Jewish people living there. It turned into occupation.
Yeah.
And it went beyond apartheid, because you see, apartheid in South Africa, they needed the Africans for labor, so they weren't going to kill them off. In terms of Palestine, they want them out there. And when they got, and the thing is, when they went to check out the land, the saying they said was, the bride is beautiful, she has no husband. Meaning they were there and they looked at it, they overlooked that there were Palestinian people there.
And what do you think should be done now?
Honestly, what needs to be done is like, you know what? The state of Israel has to be destroyed. And I'm not saying it has to be destroyed by killing the people, but it has to be over. Because it's like a two-state solution. Who's going to get the crappy land? Who's going to get the good land?